Marion Suge Knight, via phone call from prison, interviewed with Mario. What is his name? Mario. Chris Cuomo discusses his outrage. We're going to get into it.
Ooh, you are listening to the Billy Flint Experience.
Thank you so much for joining me once again to the Billy Flint Experience. I am your host, Billy Flint. You're coming live here from Germany. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have some interesting updates pertaining to the notorious diddler Sean Diddy Combs and his RICO case. As we said, Suge Knight, out of all people, he did an interview with Chris Cuomo. I don't know why I was thinking Mario. I don't know where the hell that came from, but Chris Cuomo, via prison. Suge Knight is serving a bid. What is it, a 30-year bid? 40, 50? I don't know, one of those. But anyways, he had an interesting interview with Chris Cuomo, and he was discussing his outrage at how no one in the entertainment industry has come to the defense of Sean Diddy Combs. We have an excerpt of what was discussed.
Okay, look at it like this. I look at real plain and simple. Ain't no whistleblower. Facts is there. But right now, I don't care if it's T.I., I don't care if it's Rick Ross, I don't care if it's Jay, I don't care if it's Snoop, I don't care if it's Game, I don't care if it's Dre. Nobody's stepping up on the fact that you know what's going on.
Nobody's defending him. You're right.
Guys at Interscope.
You're right.
Okay.
Nobody is defending him, but that's why I was interested in hearing your perspective.
Okay, but you had a guy named Tubby, used to work for Interscope. This guy's job was to bring underage girls and girls to have sex with employees and other artists, to the point where his friend got caught up with the same thing. How they raided Puffy House for sex trafficking, they raided his friend's house for sex trafficking. He never was an artist.
Do you think that Diddy?
He can do so.
Do you think Diddy knows enough that it's a very delicate balance, that maybe investigators will want to know these other names and greatly reduce his exposure to criminality, to time, versus what people would do to keep him quiet?
Number one, I've been knowing him a long time, and we was friends. We're not enemies, but we were friends. He's not a dummy, so he's smart enough to work his magic. On top of that, this man right here, he's been involved with the FBI and most of his career. Shit, he got powerful people. One of his partners who started his company with drug money, President Obama, got him out of prison. So it's not like he don't have no moves. So I don't think nobody should just count him out. I don't think he gonna lay down and just crawl in the corner and die. He probably going through a lot of shit right now because he probably going through a lot of withdrawals for the drugs. But the industry got him on drugs. My artist, one of the worst mistakes I could have made was protecting my artist is doing a deal at Interscope. When my artists used to pull up in Valet, the Murdoch building, they'd get out, they'd smell like weed. When they clothes smell like weed. When they made it to any office, it would smell like weed. Those guys, for my artists, they didn't introduce cocaine to my artists. So once they got on cocaine, once they got on drugs, once they got on alcohol, and that's when the weird stuff happened. And I think that's what took Puffy down that lane. Then you got to remember, Clyde Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Arell.
Simon, come on.
You better believe it. Alcohol, drugs. He compromised his manhood. Because he was taught that. He got Usher as a kid. They never recorded no songs, but alcohol, drugs,
Simon.
sex. Justin Bieber. And see, they do these things to take control. They're not doing, there's nothing wrong with being gay. If you choose to be gay, that's your preference. But they doing this to people for control. It's a power situation.
Now, first off, we have Suge Knight discussing protecting his artist. And I don't know whether or not Suge Knight is, I don't know, he's feeling like the Game, the artist, the rap artist named Game. And I'm guessing that he's feeling kind of irrelevant at this moment because there's so much going on. There's so much talk around Diddy and this RICO case that he's involved in. And maybe that Suge Knight is feeling, I don't know, he's feeling kind of left out. And he needs to voice his opinion. He needs to become relevant, even in prison. So he has this interview with Chris Cuomo, and he's discussing this. And what I find disheartening is the fact that he speaks about his quote-unquote artist when he was the head of Def Jam. Not Def Jam. When he was ahead of Death Row. And the artist that I'm speaking of is Tupac. He's talking about protecting his artist. Instead of Suge Knight running his mouth about what's going on in Diddy's business, he needs to be talking about the unsolved case of Tupac and Biggie. He's talking about protecting his artist at one time, and he was always protecting his artist, but he couldn't protect Tupac. That's number one. But he goes on and on about a gentleman by the name. Of course, I had to do my research on this because he's talking about this individual. Goes by the name of Tubby. Of course, that is Sean Tubby Holiday. He was working for Interscope, and he's bringing this gentleman's name in, and by his omission, that this gentleman was responsible for bringing girls and illegal substances to the artist. Now, this is where I discredit anything that Suge says. And I'm wondering, why does anyone continue to even listen to what Suge Knight has to say? Because anything he says it's really, you have to second guess it. And where does he get his information from? Now, sure enough, pretty much sure he knows a lot about what goes on in the music industry, being that he was the CEO of Def Jam. But it's always off subject, and it's never about what goes on within his organization when he was running Death Row. Again, it's interesting enough to know that the mystery and unsolved unaliving of Tupac and of Biggie Smalls. So I found that very interesting when I came across that interview. So we have also Diddy's children speaking out for the first time about the allegations pertaining to their father, Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, they penned a very heartfelt I don't know whether it was one of them or maybe each of them penned a heartfelt note onto their Instagram page. And I guess this is all in lieu of this new book that has dropped over, and it's picking up a lot of heat over social media platforms. The book about Kim Porter and her last words. Now, the author of this particular book has also stated that he doesn't know whether or not this information is true because his sources in which the reason that he wrote this book, the people that he got the information from just gave him the thumbnails that had the information on there. He took it upon himself to write this book. Now, the debate on the internet, a lot of people are condemning this book as calling it fake and false information, and that no one should purchase this book. Of course, it's on Amazon. And as I reported a few days ago, me being in Germany, I don't know whether they block certain literature or whether it's not available on the Amazon here in Europe, but I did happen to find it. I was having trouble before, and I so happened to find I found it, and I did order it. And I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it objectively, just as, I don't know, nonfiction. One thing I'm not going to do is not read it because others tell me not to. I'm going to read it. I'm going to draw my own conclusions. And I would say I would recommend everyone to research if these subjects are very interesting to them, to research all information that's put out, whether it's quoted as being fake or false information or misinformation. I don't know. I bet the other way. And I ordered it, and I'm going to read it. And I'm guessing because of this particular literature, and it's also strange that there has been for years, many, many years, that there was a subsequent book or information or rumors that Kim Porter was in the process of writing her book, and that the information that she had was stolen from her home just before her untimely death. Now, whether or not that's true or not, at this point, everything is all speculation. We don't know. No one knows the truth. There is no possible way no one knows the truth, because everyone has their version of what's going on. But the kids decide to pen a heartfelt note onto their Instagram, and it reads, "We have seen so many hurtful and false rumors circulating about our parents, Kim Porter and Sean Combs' relationship, as well about our mom's tragic passing, that we feel the need to speak out. Claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. She did not. And anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misrepresenting themselves. Additionally, please understand that any so-called friend speaking on behalf of our mom or her family is not a friend, nor do they have her best interest at heart. Our lives were shattered when we lost our mother. She was our world, and nothing has been the same since she passed. While it has been incredibly difficult to reconcile because all this is in caps and there's really no punctuation. Okay, it's difficult to reconcile how she could be taken from us too soon. So soon. But they got too soon. The cause of her death has long been established. There was no foul play. Grief is a lifelong process. And we ask that everyone respect our request for peace as we continue to cope with her loss every day. We are deeply saddened that the world has made a spectacle of what has been the most tragic event of our lives. Our mother should be remembered for her beauty, strong, kind, and loving woman she was. Her memory should not be tainted by horrific conspiracy theories. We ask that everyone please respect our mother, Kim Porter, and hold her legacy in high regards so that she may rest in peace. It's what she deserves. We love you. We miss you, Mommy. Quincy, Christian, Jesse, and Delilah. Okay. Okay, I guess the other kids didn't want to add in, but they got only 4 of the kids here. And I guess they co-signed this message. Again, it's all written in caps. It's kind of hard to read, but I'm taking it that it was a very emotional moment that they had to pin this to the internet. But they're saying conspiracy theories, based on conspiracy theories, that none of the information is true. Again, there has been rumors of a book, of her planning to write a book. And again, we all don't know whether or not that's true, but again, there has been speculation surrounding of her untimely demise was based on the fact that she had information about Sean Combs. And it's also interesting because I would say, as far as the kids are concerned, when it's connected to their mother, and Quincy being the child of Al B. Sure, well, he was the one who kind of stated the obvious some years ago pertaining the unaliving of Kim Porter. And it's, well, of course, he removed it from the internet, but we all know once you put anything on the internet, it is there forever because there are going to be screenshots where anyone can pull up. And I so happen to have the screenshot right here. And it says, the morning of the, and this is Al B. Sure. This is what he had written when he found out of Kim Porter's untimely demise. And it says, this morning of the Soul Train Award at BET pre-production, hashtag all bees around the Albies. Oh, I get it. Okay. I guess that's his groupies. Albies around the world. I just found this footage from the morning I learned of at Lady KP's also known as Kim Porter, unaliving, and how it ripped the soul from my physical body. I was on my way to film the pre-show package for the BET Awards with Tisha Campbell Martin and Tashina Arnold, when I received a call from PR icon at Queenie Donaldson asking me if I was okay. And did I hear the news? I had no clue. I do know very clearly that Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some bullshit. Really? This is where I get in trouble. We just celebrated our son's Quincy's new deal with a Christmas special with Netflix. And she was in a fantastic health as well, laughing, seeing me and Diddy's mutual exchange at the theater. I'm going to leave it here. Don't let the love songs fool you. Hashtag. Hashtag stole my father's ring. Hashtag stop rolling my sneakers. Hashtag shut up and dribble. Hashtag Ivy. Okay, those are really scripted hashtags. I don't know what they really mean. But we have a situation where Al B. Sure has stated that he didn't believe the autopsy. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me tonight. I can't speak. Autopsy report on the unaliving of the late Kim Porter. And he has, stated many times that he didn't believe the outcome of those reports and that there was definitely foul play. And again, I say if the kids or if they do not believe or don't want to, hear these conspiracy theories, just ask I'll be sure, because he has spoken up on this subject many times before. And we have, again, this book that has been recently released on Amazon. And again, I ordered it and I will read it. I'm going to read it with an open mind. Of course, again, as I say, and I have to keep repeating this, all of this is alleged, of course. It's information, and that no one really knows the truth, or no one really knows any of this stuff is fact. Even if it was a situation where these could have been Kim Porter's actual words, we still wouldn't know. So everything is speculation at this point, at best. And of course, I'll be sure left another, another message. And this is recently, and I guess he was really kind of, because of the fact that the information that he put out a few years ago, it has been taken off the internet. Now I'm believing that he's backtracking. It says Miss Porter's missing devices allegedly already in evidence unquestionably contains the critical evidence that have been concealed. I'm convinced that evidence corroborates closely with details outlined in the recent released public indictment document. Additionally, it is pertinent to note that the individuals involved in this matter may also be connected to also concealing the alleged unaliving of several prominent artists, a situation that has left many bewildered. Yet those who are immersed in the culture and familiar with the intricacies of the entertainment industry may have a clearer understanding of the obvious. Okay. And it says, it is with heavy heart that I reflect on the legacy of our beloved Lady KP. It is truly disheartening to think that those she considered close friends and who were financially compensated by her perpetrators may have conspired with the perpetrators to obscure the truth and tarnish her name. My name and her unfinished book notes with these ridiculous and unfounded narratives. The absence of Miss Porter leaves a void, depriving her of the opportunity to address these inaccuracies personally and to share with our factual or her own factual memoirs detailing the brutal terror and madness she endured. Check all who text messages of those who serve in a PR capacity, as they have brilliantly and underhandedly crafted this fictitious story to serve a personal vendetta. There's more. There is so much to unpack. Unfortunately, I'm the only survivor by the blessings of a medical team that initially gave up because of the multiple system organ failure. Septic, intubated on a ventilator for 38 days. And to force to visit death's doorstep. But the God I serve and worship had another plan. Keep in mind that this is just the G-rated version of what I endured over a decade. I also kept forensic records of every individual who has sent my way to set me up, track me, gaslight me, and allegedly cause harm to my system. Okay, again, now this is recent. And it's a shame that the children have to, that Diddy's children have to go through this. Because not only did they lose one parent, but they've lost another. And as far as the twins are concerned, they are still young. They are only teenagers. And yes, it's true. It's a lot of misinformation that is out in amongst the different social media platforms. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of speculation. But I think if they really wanted to know something, if they're not getting it from Diddy himself, they can simply ask, I'll be sure. They have it, all the information right there. But again, as I said, we don't know what is actually truth, and that we can only go by what is actually provided from us via hearsay. I guess we have to be kind of smart about it. Become a discernment of what information that is out there. But I am going to read the book. I'm going to read it with an open mind. And I'm going to approach it as nonfiction because I don't know whether or not any of it is true. A lot of the information that is out there is saying that the book is inaccurate. And it's fake news, misinformation, and not true. But just because people say that it's not accurate or misinformation don't necessarily mean that that is the truth either. So I'm going to wait till the book is delivered. I'm going to read it. And I may or I may not, I don't know, do a review of it. But we shall see. Again, Al Be Sure knows the truth. I'm pretty much sure he does. And I don't think he wants to be in the middle of all of this. Because of the fact that, as from the way he puts it, his life was almost taken away from him. And I'm pretty much sure he's looking at it as someone was involved with that. But he doesn't want to say. I don't know, we shall see. Yeah, once again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. The Billy Flynn Experience. I am your host, Billy Flynn, and you're coming here live from Germany. Look forward to being with you again. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening or morning and rest of the week. Talk to you again soon.
Go on, you've got another 5 seconds. Say something outrageous.
You dirty bastard.
Go on, again.
You dirty fucker.
What a clever boy.
What a fucking rotter.
Well, that's it for tonight.